And lastly, for me, champ, in the world of comparisons that we live in right now, if you can, compare and contrast the fight between yourself and Floyd Mayweather Jr. and tonight's bout with Terence "Bud" Crawford, if you can.
No, I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather.
Right after Terence "Bud" Crawford stunned the world by defeating Canelo Alvarez, he and Floyd "Money" Mayweather nearly came to blows on camera. Security rushed in as their entourages pushed and shouted, creating a tense standoff. For a moment, it looked like boxing's past and present were about to clash. No punches were thrown, but the intense stare-down said it all, the legend of yesterday facing the fighter many now consider the best today. The real question became whether Floyd's reaction was genuine anger or just a move to stay in the spotlight, especially as Crawford's victory sparked debates about whether his legacy might now rival or even surpass Mayweather's.
They're doing a shoulder roll, you see? I mean, yeah. And not knocking the guys that paved the way. And I want to come on record and say, I'm appreciative for guys like Sugar Ray Robinson and Muhammad Ali and Sugar Ray Leonard. So many guys that paved the way for me. But there's only one Floyd Mayweather. These fighters are not better than me. You look at the numbers, they say, oh, Canelo may end up beating more world champions than Floyd Mayweather. Well, he should. With almost, 80 and 90 fights, he should. Mm-hmm. I beat more world champions than any fighter in history. I'm 50-0, but half of my fights was world title fights.
Floyd Mayweather was long seen as boxing's pound-for-pound king, proudly calling himself TBE, the best ever. He retired with a perfect 50-0 record, never losing a fight or even touching the canvas, with major victories over Pacquiao, Cotto, Canelo, and De La Hoya. But now, Crawford has completely shifted the conversation.
Thank you, GOAT, because you are the GOAT of this era. Terence "Bud" Crawford.
Crawford is now a three-time undisputed champion, still undefeated, and has dominated 5 different weight divisions. While critics often claimed Floyd picked safer fights or faced top opponents past their prime, Crawford went straight at the sport's biggest star in his prime weight class, and came out on top.
Because, if you look at Floyd's resume, it's much deeper than Crawford's. And Floyd was faster and he had a better defense and all that stuff. But Floyd picked and chose when he fought guys, especially once he left lightweight. He wiped out the junior lights, bring him. Lightweight, he jumps up to Jose Luis Castillo first thing. A lot of people think he lost the first fight, I didn't, but then he won the rematch. But once he left lightweight, he was careful about when he fought guys. So even though his resume is deeper with names, people remember, but he didn't want it with certain dudes at certain times. Crawford, we all witnessed, even though the resume is thin in certain ways, he wanted it with everyone the whole time. Oh, yes. That makes a difference.
Max Kellerman even highlighted the point. Floyd often picked the timing and opponents that suited him best. Crawford, on the other hand, has always been willing to face anyone, anytime, and that distinction makes all the difference.
Second half of the fight put an emphasis on the fact that Bud was in fact outboxing him in the first half of the fight. It is one of the biggest wins in boxing history. And now let Uncle Max gather around, children, and I will explain this. This is the situation, guys. No one has ever been a 4-division champion in boxing. Not a real one. Oh, Pacquiao won 8 and Oscar De La Hoya won 11 and this one won 15. No, I'm talking about Ring Magazine champ or lineal champ. You are the champion of that division.
Get them all.
Forever, the record was 3 by Henry Armstrong. Manny Pacquiao was the first dude to really win 4. Floyd gets credit for 4 for beating Canelo, but that wasn't at the junior middleweight limit. I don't count that. I don't count that. Right. Terence Crawford just joined Manny Pacquiao as the only legit 4-division champion in the history of boxing.
The stats between them are close, and both fighters have remarkable resumes. But Crawford's willingness to take real risks sets him apart, sending the boxing world into a frenzy. Now the big question on everyone's mind is simple. Has Crawford just surpassed Floyd Mayweather?
Better out of those two, Crawford or Mayweather.
I think Crawford is better, bigger. He's actually he moved in weight class, and I would say Crawford is a better fight all around fighter. Mayweather is really good too, though. You can knock him as well. You know, he's very talented. It would have been a tough fight, but I think Crawford would have the edge over Mayweather because of the long arms and because he's bigger. You know what I'm saying? And he would have kept him at bay. It would have been hard for Mayweather to counter, maybe. But Mayweather's definitely technician. I mean, like Crawford said, you know, Mayweather has his era, and Crawford, this is his era.
To understand why this debate is so heated, we need to revisit the Canelo fight. Before the bout, many believed Crawford was too small to compete.
You play with Canelo or Crawford? Canelo. Canelo. Yeah.
Hey, what do you think is the most significant part of that matchup in Canelo versus Crawford?
That he's comfortable at 168. You know, that he's been fighting there. He went and collected all the belts at that weight class. Crawford, of course, Crawford has a chance. He has a big chance, you know, being one of the pound-for-pound fighters of the world. But it's just the advantage of being there first. You know what to expect in that weight class. Crawford's coming off a 154 fight that he fought last year. So I really don't consider him even a 154. He's been fighting at 147 for a while. He had that one fight at 154, and then he stopped fighting for a year again. So, you know, of course, he's probably been training, you know, again, high-class fighter. But to be comfortable at 168, you're going to have to do some fights in there. And going in there fighting the undisputed champion, it's going to take a toll.
Moving up in weight to face a natural 168-pounder like Canelo Alvarez seemed risky, but Crawford didn't just compete, he outboxed him. He moved smartly, jabbed, countered, and gradually wore Canelo down. While Canelo landed some solid body shots, they didn't change the fight's momentum. By round 7, Crawford was trading punches toe-to-toe and winning crucial exchanges. By round 12, the judges awarded him a unanimous decision. That victory didn't just prove Crawford's skill, it made history, crowning him the first fighter to become undisputed champion in 3 different weight classes.
Fight, the Crawford-Canelo fight, and you had a Cavs hat on. This time you've got a GOAT hat on. Is that how you're feeling? I know it says Muhammad Ali, but is that how you're feeling about Bud's performance, about his whole career?
Yeah, I'm definitely feeling that way, man. He's a GOAT. Greatest of all time, man. You gotta give it to him. You gotta give it to him. You gotta give it to his coaches. Not just me, Saul Red, Bernie, Chet, nutritionists, you know, everybody played a part.
Canelo said he's way better than Mayweather. What do you think to that?
Who, Terence?
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Of course.
In doing so, Crawford accomplished something Floyd never attempted. He beat a naturally bigger champion in his own weight class. That achievement lies at the heart of Floyd's envy. Floyd has always controlled his narrative, building his empire by calling himself Money, and repeatedly proving his perfection inside the ring.
70 fights, 150 fights, 300 fights. Did I not beat the most world champions?
Yes, you did.
Okay. And in the least amount of fights?
Yes, you did.
Who got the highest gate?
Floyd Mayweather.
Who made the most money?
You did.
Who was the most accurate fighter of all time?
You were.
So it's basically saying that...
The greatest of all time.
Okay.
All right.
But now all eyes are on Crawford. He's being hailed as the new pound-for-pound king. Analysts are debating whether he might even surpass Floyd, and fans are applauding him for achieving what Floyd never did. Floyd doesn't like it. That's why he threw shade during the post-fight moment, questioning Crawford's legacy and even hinting at a potential fight. He knows Crawford's win over Canelo stole the spotlight, and he wants it back.
And to be Chris Eubank's trainer, first of all?
It feels good, man. You know what I'm saying? I've been this trainer before, so...
Yeah, it's good.
It's a no-brainer.
Of course. Congratulations on the win. What's your first reactions to Crawford's victory? One of the greats of this era, right?
Oh, definitely that. You know that.
What do you want to see him do now?
What I want to do now?
What do you want to see Crawford do next?
Do what he has this point now in his career where he could do whatever he wanted to do.
Who would you like to see him fight? Any names? Is there any names in particular you'd like to see?
It doesn't matter.
What about Canelo? Would you like to see him retire?
I don't. Canelo's not my responsibility.
Okay.
Here's the key point. Terence Crawford doesn't need Floyd Mayweather, and fans need to understand that. Floyd has a long history of using other fighters to boost his own legacy. Crawford never set out to challenge Floyd. He respected him, even trained with him, and called him an influence. But after Crawford made history by beating Canelo, Floyd downplayed it, saying Canelo wasn't that great instead of celebrating Bud's achievement. That's classic Floyd, always protecting his spotlight. It's not just Crawford. Look at Gervonta "Tank" Davis. Floyd helped build him up, used his name to promote him, and the moment Tank tried to shine on his own, Floyd pulled him back to reclaim attention. It's the same playbook every time. If someone threatens his status, Floyd rewrites the story. Why many fans view it as jealousy. Crawford never went after Floyd. He was simply elevating the sport to a new level. But Floyd struggles with the idea that someone else is now carrying the torch.
He gave you the spotlight, like why would he try to diminish your career? Because at that time, I don't want to go too deep into it because I don't want to bring up mine. But it was somehow that they were saying that I was messing with his daughter off of the fact that she kept...
Now Crawford is proving he can do the same. His fight with Canelo wasn't just historic in the ring, it was a box office sensation. Netflix streamed it globally, the stadium sold out, and millions tuned in, making it one of the most watched fights in the past 20 years.
I thought Terence fought a virtuoso fight. Terence never let Canelo get into a rhythm. Terence never allowed Canelo to get anything going, and I didn't think he could do it for 12 rounds. I thought that the first 3 or 4 rounds were going to be difficult for Canelo for that reason. But Terence was able to do it for 12 rounds. And in the later part of the fight, he kind of pushed the fight more than I think people expected, which is the mark of a superstar, man.
Crawford has shown he's not just the pound-for-pound best. He's the new box office king. He can fill stadiums, generate huge pay-per-view numbers, and headline major fights anywhere in the world.
For a decade, I'm a fighter of the last century, honestly. and it's a reason why I'm the best fighter of the last 100 years. The credentials show it. And I went out there and showed it. What's better than going out there, being world champion for what, 20 years? Box office, I got the record. Pay-per-view, I got the record. It's better to win half 5 world titles than 4 at one particular time.
That's why Floyd is unsettled. Crawford isn't just dominating in the ring, he's taking over outside it, too. So why is Floyd suddenly hinting at a fight with Crawford? The answer is simple: money and relevance. Floyd may be retired, but he's never really left the spotlight, doing exhibitions against YouTubers, kickboxers, and even MMA fighters to keep earning. Those fights didn't matter and didn't add to his legacy. A bout with Crawford would be completely different. It would be huge. The story writes itself. Undefeated legend versus undefeated king. Old school versus new school. The man who claims to be TBE versus the fighter many now believe is even greater.
I thought Terence fought a virtuoso fight. Terence never let Canelo get into a rhythm. Terence never allowed Canelo to get anything going, and I didn't think he could do it for 12 rounds. I thought that the first 3 or 4 rounds were going to be difficult for Canelo for that reason, but Terence was able to do it for 12 rounds. And in the later part of the fight, he kind of pushed the fight more than I think people expected, which is the mark of a superstar, man.
For Floyd, it's all about making money and reclaiming the spotlight, which is why he's stirring controversy and even came close to squaring off with Crawford for one last massive payday. But here's the twist: Crawford isn't interested. He's always respected Floyd, calling him a legend and one of the best ever, but a fight wouldn't add to his legacy. Floyd is 48, long past his prime, and hasn't competed at the top level in nearly a decade. If Bud won, critics would dismiss it, saying Floyd was too old. If Floyd somehow won, they'd call it a fluke. Either way, it wouldn't elevate Crawford's.
So emotional afterward. Is it that you just realized everything that you achieved, the moment just hit you then?
Yeah, for sure. Like, it's just, the history, behind the sport is just everything that, I trained for my whole life. It all was, coming out that one night. That was all paying off. You have a lot of people that, adopted this narrative that Terence Crawford can't sell, Terence Crawford it's not marketable, you know, and they push the narrative to the public, and that's all people write about. Oh, Terence Crawford can't do this, Terence Crawford can't do that. But anyone in Terence Crawford fights, you see a sold out crowd, you know, but they wasn't talking about that. They was talking about how, you know, marketable I'm not, you know, and that kind of was hurting my career because, you know, a lot of people was looking at me and said, oh yeah, they said he's not marketable. Oh, they said he's not, you know, don't have a personality, things like that, because I didn't want to do things their way. I didn't want to put on a show. I didn't want to disrespect my opponents when they wasn't disrespecting me.
Right.
I wasn't, you know, I'm not a guy that, you know, wear jewelry for no reason. You know, just the things that I didn't want to do that they wanted me to do. You know, they go out there and say, oh, well, they lost money on me. You know, it's just crazy though to see me headline, you know, not one of the largest attending fight in American history. In American history.
That's why Crawford isn't chasing Floyd. He's focused on building his own legacy, whether that means defending his title, moving up to middleweight, or retiring undefeated. To him, a fight with Floyd isn't history, it's just business. Bud has never chased anyone. Floyd is the one creating controversy to sell a fight that only benefits himself. Crawford is at his peak, sitting on boxing's throne, while Floyd is a retired legend looking for one more moment in the spotlight. Their near clash wasn't real animosity, it was promotion. Floyd knows controversy sells. Fans will debate it, clips will go viral, and his name will return to the headlines. But in the end, Crawford doesn't need Floyd. In the eyes of many, he's already surpassed him.
You be sizing niggas up, bro. Keep it a stack. Did you in your head size up Floyd? Like, you know what I'm saying? If we was ever, keep it real, bud. Keep it real.
I'm never that type of guy. I think that's some grimy shit. Always been happy for him, been a fan of his, and I never imagined us fight. Yeah. I never looked at him like, man, I know I'll be this.
Boy, you capping, bro. I never thought like fantasy fight me versus Floyd, nah.
Never. I never just was with a person and looked at him like, man, I'll be this. Never. That's some hating type shit to me.
Like plotting.
I ain't never been that type of person ever.
The real story isn't the near fight, it's the clash of legacies, Floyd's versus Crawford's. The old GOAT against the new king. After defeating Canelo, Crawford has officially claimed the torch, becoming undisputed in 3 divisions and securing the top spot in pound-for-pound rankings. He's selling out stadiums, dominating pay-per-view, and many now view his legacy as even brighter than Floyd's. Floyd, jealous and hungry for the spotlight, wants the fight for money and relevance, not for legacy. Crawford doesn't need it.